And we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the One to Last live for the Between the Lines Quilt along. Today we are going to do curves again. And we will be sewing the row that is called roundabout. And it has blocks like this. And we already did curves. So I won't be showing the complete process, but I will be showing you how to assemble the block and how to trim these curves. So let's see who's already here. Sabina is here, and Dina, Linda, Willie, Rosanne. Hi there. You have traces of snow. Oh, and 40 degrees. So that's Fahrenheit, right? Yeah, we have winter over here, but Dutch winter, so not a big chance of snow for us. So it's windy and rainy. Yeah, Monica says, see if there's time to catch up during the holidays. That would be lovely. Yeah, for us as well. The Christmas holidays started today, and Advent is almost over. I thought it would be fun to show you. Today we are putting a binding on our Advent project, and that is this one this year. So we're making 2 placemats, a train. This is the Christmas edition. You can pick if you want to put presents in the wagon, or if you do a little Christmas tree. This is the winter version of the fabrics. So this is our Advent project, and tomorrow it's the last day of Advent, and then it's already Christmas, so then it's over. We had a choo-choo Advent in 2024. It was so much fun to do the Advent. Yes, so if you are still sewing along with that, that's fun, and thank you for joining. That's wonderful. But we are here today for the Between the Lines Quilt along, and that's also almost over. So we have this month. Today we will be working on row 2. Yeah, it's row 2, and then in January we will do our final row. That's already the final row. Yes. So if you have specific questions about this row, just put them in the comments. And I think I'm just going to flip the camera and show you the process of making the block, especially cutting. I guess that's the most tricky part for this one. And then I'll check back in the comments if there are any questions. So there we go. Let's flip the camera around. I have such a messy studio. It's good that I'm only showing you this workplace. Really time for a holiday cleanup over here. But yeah, messy with all kinds of fabric and projects. Yeah, so a lot. So let's see. Before we want to start, let's show you what we're making. I have a lot of blocks here. So these are 2 rows mixed up. So this is what we're making. We're making big blocks and small blocks, big squares and small squares. And those will be joined like so. So there's going to be one little one with 2 pieces of seshing, and then you have 3 big ones. And if you think this little one is too small to make, you can also make 4 big ones, and then just make this a light pink big one. If you prefer, that's also fine. If you think that's too tiny for you to piece. Let's see. So what we need to make these is, of course, your paper templates to cut them, and that is exactly the same way as with our previous row. So I like to use some temporary glue to stick it on my fabric, and then you cut it out, and you do that for all your pieces, and then you pin it together. So let's show that again. I fold this, so I have a center line, center fold, and I fold this as well. And then you can place those centers on top of each other and stick in a pin. Use as many pins as you like. And rotate this. Make sure that these lines are lined up. Yes, so these sides should be lined up over there. Stick a pin in there. And then the same on the other side. So this is quite a small curve, and it's a little bit fiddly to get your pins in and to sew it. So take your time and use as many pins as you like. But the good thing is that we have some wiggle room. So this one is already cut. I believe the small one is 3 inches. Yes, it's 3 inches. So let's sew this, and then we can trim it. How are we going to do this? Maybe for a next quilt along, I can hire a camera woman to to help me with this. But I think it's nice to show you how the sewing is done. Yeah, so let's get that in focus. Focus somewhere. There, yes. Perfect. Okay, so my stitch length, I'm putting it a little bit smaller than the standard 2.5. Let's see, do we have a scrappy piece fabric that I can just use? So I just use that so my beginning isn't dragged into the machine. There we go. And then I'm just going to try and keep this flat. And yeah, trying to keep it flat and keep it in position, and also try to keep it lined up on the side over there. So now I see I need to do some pulling because you can see quite a lot of the pink fabric peeking out. There we go. Yep. And I think this is good to show. It's nice if your sewing is super precise, and but if you just want to do it like this and just go and see how it turns out, it's not a problem if it's not too precise. That is all good. We can get away with that. So that is the sewing for this little piece. And then, of course, we need to give it a press. Let's see, how did I press this one? I pressed that one to one side. So that's what I'm going to do with this one as well. Finger press it open. And then use my cute Oliso. Every time I use this iron, it makes me happy because it's so small. It's really nice and handy. So there we go. Nicely pressed, and then it's time to cut. So on the blog there you can find the directions on how to cut, and this one is supposed to be 3 inches. but you need to know how and where to cut. So we start with cutting this side and this side. So you can measure how big the quarter circle is going to be. I just wrote it down that the small one we need 2 1/4. So here I measure from the corner 1, 2 1/4 to this line, and also 1, 2 1/4 to that line. And then you have, of course, some wiggle room if you're going to lay it like this or like this, but just try to put it a little bit centered. There we go. I think that looks good. And then we trim it. And then rotate, and then you can trim it to 3 inches. And then the white fabric will be 3/4 of an inch. There we go. That is for the small one. The small one. And then for the big one, I think I already have one sewn. These ones are finished already. And these ones still need to be cut. So let's start and trim this one. And this quarter circle should be 3 inches and 1/4. There we go. So this is why I left just a bit of wiggle room. So the templates are a little bit bigger than you essentially need. Because if you then sew a little bit wonky, it's no problem. We will just trim it. And then these will be 3.5 inches in total. There we go, 3.5 inch. And that is how we trim the blocks for this row. So how do we go from this to this? Well, then we start with our small ones. And you have trimmed these little strips. These are 1 inch wide and these are 3 inch long. So that means that you can sew it along one of the sides of the quarter circle. Let's do that. There we go. So that is just sewn on a 1/4 inch from the edge. Give it a little press. And that will make this small block also as big as the big block. So now we need to add a larger one, 3.5 inches, and that will go on that side. Oh, and then we have a cute quarter circle there. There we go. So that is a small quarter circle with the sashing on it. And then you can just assemble it in halves. So here you have half of the circle, and well, I've sewn a bunch of half circles, and then you sew the other half. But then you just need to take a look at the complete row if you want to make it. Where do we have another one? If you want to make it like this. Oh no, that doesn't matter. You can just sew them. I was thinking you need to pay attention if you want to make it like this or like this, but that's okay, because when you've finished one, you can rotate it in any direction you want. It is when you are going to attach the sashing that you need to decide which way this is going to point. So if it's going to be like this or like this, like this or like this, and you can just So sew all the circles and then lay it out in one long row, and then decide for yourself what layout you would like, if they should be pointing all in the same direction, or if you would want them to point like this or a little bit more random. I believe in my row I did it kind of random. Yeah, but feel free to adjust that to your own liking. Yeah, so and you make, of course, two types, because you make dark ones and light ones, and you can alternate those. So that is that's what we're making this week, well, this month, and this is the color scheme for the blue quilt, the teal blue green quilt. Yeah, so let's rotate that camera and see if you have any more questions. Here we go. So let's see. The lighting isn't too good because it's just been the 21st of December, so the shortest day, and it's already getting dark here. So I put up a big light so we have some light, but it's not the most flattering light here. Let's see. Greetings from Minnesota, Northern Carolina. Merry Christmas from Ontario. Rosanna says, I thought you would have lots of snow. No, we do not. No, it's really, I love it when we have snow, but it's not even every year, I believe. Well, my memory isn't that good. Quite a mom brain I have, but no, it's not every year. It's quite special if we have a lot of snow. So we had in the north of the Netherlands, we had a little bit of snow a few weeks ago, I believe, but that was only one day and then it was gone. It's just not cold enough now here for snow. And also ice. We love to do ice skating on the lakes and on the water outside, but that happened a lot when I was little, but now it just doesn't happen a lot anymore. Let's see. Kathleen says, can we get the truck patterns? I definitely need to get on your email list. Yes. You should get on my email list. So on sugardo.com, on my homepage, you can subscribe to my email list. Then you will know of all these kind of cool projects that we do. And there's a really fun one coming up for Easter. And I'm going to do a pre-order of that mid-January. So do hop onto my newsletter. But these trains, well, they are especially designed for the Advent calendar. So there are images and blog posts about it on my website, but the pattern was only for the people joining the Advent. And I think next year, beginning of December, I will share this pattern, but not yet, because this is now only for the Advent people who are sewing along. And I did share the Advent from last year. So if you want to make that reindeer pillow pattern, that's on my blog for free. But this one, we need to wait a little bit for that. Let's see. Lynn says, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Oh, lovely. You also have to catch up for the quilt along. Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Ellen. Happy to hear that you love making the quilt along. Good morning, Sabine. Oh, well, if you have, I don't think then there are any questions about this. I think you got this. If you already did the other curves, then this is just a little bit smaller and more pieces to curve, so more pieces to practice on. I think you got this. Yeah, so I think that's it for this time. And then next row, we also will have a live video on Monday. I know it's a little bit odd day to do it, but on the Friday next time, I have a wedding from a friend on Friday, so I can't be there. So we moved it to Monday. Yes. Well, Thank you so much, everyone, for joining here. And I just want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And I hope you will have wonderful days with your family and friends and loved ones. And yeah. That's a good question. Rosanna is asking, what projects are you planning for us for 2025? I think we will close off with that question. So I am planning a fun Eastern quilt along, and I'm really excited about that one. It's going to be so cute, and we will have a limited amount of quilt kits for that, but you can also join with the pattern, and that will be announced mid-January. So then the pre-sale opens for the kits, and you can subscribe for the quilt along. So yeah, we're going to do a fun quilt along for Easter in let's see, March or April. There's going to be a Shiridu super sale. We are preparing bundles and lots of fun stuff from the studio and to go in the Shiridu super sale then. And I am working on something which I really love. I haven't told anyone about this, so that's kind of a new thing. I haven't released it anywhere, but I want to do more with pattern design, quilt pattern design, because that's the reason why I started Shugridu, and that's the thing I love to do most. So you can expect something with Shugridu patterns in the new year. And I don't know yet. I'm still finalizing the plans for that and how we're going to do it. And but it's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of cool foundation paper piecing patterns. So I'm going to announce that as soon as I have all the details. But that's going to happen. And of course, a new advent calendar next year. But that's the end of next year. Yeah. So and what else? I have a third fabric line that's going to be presented in on the H&H. That's a business to business quilt craft fair in the US, and that's in May. So then that's going to be announced. So that's really exciting. Yeah, I think that's already a lot of things for 2025. And I hope you will all tag along. But if you subscribe to the newsletter, go to sugardoo.com and then just scroll a little bit until you find the sign up form, then you will know everything about this. I send an email every 1 or 2 weeks, so then you will be the first to know about everything. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. And wishing you a wonderful new year with a lot of quilting and sewing. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.